and welcome back to GTV. Breakfast is the headlines. The number of topics we'll be looking through, the stories that have made headlines that I&J brought to you. The Godfred Adorye, the Attorney General, issue with the minority leader Ato Forcing is rife, and the KPMG reports that the president has said should be released. Organized labor also on the sale of snitch shares to Brian A. Champong. Media Foundation for West Africa's comments on the president's change of stance on KPMG, and the Hopeson Adorye court case. He's been given bail. We'll look at that as well. Liberian refugees being repatriated or taken back to their country from Bunumbram camp at Gomwa is another story making headline. And the KIA hostels is still on there. The health issues are obstetric fistula and how to fight it. And it's good we have the women in the studio today, so we'll be looking at that as well. Now, let me introduce my guests to you. They've been eager to take a bite on the various topics we have. On my immediate left, a favorite on the show, Gabriela Tete, Central Regional Communications Officer, member of the National Communications Team, NDC. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Gabi. And then we have to Gabi's left, Madame Tabitha Ayila, member National Communications Team, NPP. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hajia Hamdatu Ibrahim, another favorite on the show, acting chairperson, former acting chairperson, CPP. Hajia, that's my welcome back to the show. Ladies, let me begin with what's on your mind. I'll start with you, Gabi. It's end of the week. What has been the big issue for you that you want to see something done about?
Let me say good morning to our viewers. Good morning to you and my co-panelists. What's on my mind? If I was to pick of all the issues, since most of them will be tackled in our discussion segment, but the one that I think is still of interest to me is the construction of the main Kasua-Winneba Road. Okay. We've been experiencing some congestion on that stretch. And, you know, it's a major highway. It's an ECOWAS transnational highway. And aside that, that is the main routes that people who want to travel to Kumasi, to the central region, go through. And those who also go through Cape Coast central region to the western region. So it's a very important highway for us. And as much as we appreciate the expansion of the road, we also want to see some safety measures implemented. And I've been raising issues with the trenches that have been dug along the road, of course, the construction site. But I want to see some barricade created around those trenches. In Awutu Beku, there were 2-3 weeks ago, 2 people fell into the trench, and we're not talking, this is not a shallow trench. I don't know if you've seen the videos from the construction area. These are deep trenches. So, and they've dug them so close to people's homes. And we want to see the place barricaded. I've made so much noise about it, but it appears that NADMO is not listening, because the NADMO director for Gomwa East is also the director of operations for this construction company. Clear conflict of interest. And his interest is more in the construction company than being somebody who should be responsible for the health and safety of the indigenous in that area. Since I've said it here again, I expect to see something done about it. I expect that the construction company should be able to relay information to road users much quicker. Last week, they did a blast on the stretch without announcing, and vehicles had to sit still in traffic for 2 hours whilst the blast was going on. Some of these things should be communicated earlier. We have a lot of media houses in on that side, and even in Kasua and in Accra. Some of these things should be announced nationally, so the people who are using that stretch will know and be better informed. And then finally also, you know, yes, it's a major road. It's a serious issue. Yes. Finally also, I've been telling them that they have to create auxiliary routes, because there's so much traffic sitting on the construction site. You need to create routes within the community so that vehicles can divert off the main road. away from the danger zone, and construction work can go on easily and quicker for you. The road, there are some old roads there, but they need grading to make them more trouble. Currently, if you go on those roads, you have to do 10 to 15 kilometers per hour, which is slow. So vehicles are forced to still stay on the main road because they believe that will get them to their destinations faster. Okay. So grade those side roads, auxiliary roads, create more access avenues for vehicles who are moving there. And then finally, the way their construction equipment just jump into the main road is also a problem. I don't know what kind of contractor this contractor got, who got this contract, but I have personally been on that road. And before you can say Jack, there's a whole bulldozer forcing its way to enter the traffic. And how can you go and compete to the bulldozer? At least there should be servicemen who hold flags, danger zone, stop for this vehicle to cross the road. These are simple things but you see, when the person who's supposed to be responsible for enforcing these safety measures is the same director of operations, more interested in the money from the construction company than the safety of the citizens in the area, this is what happens. So that is what's on my mind this morning.
Thank you, Gabby. Important call to action raised there on safety of the indigenes who live around the area where the trenches are being built and the barricading. Hajia, let me pick your thoughts on what's on your mind this morning.
Good morning to our cherished viewers, and then good morning to my co-panelists here. What is on my mind is the rains. My daughter happens to travel from around Dansoma, or is it the Malam Road.
Okay.
And it was raining. People were busy dumping their refuse in the gutters. She even have a video of it. So now, if you do that, it will go and choke somewhere, and then it will cause havoc to innocent people.
Okay, Ajia, hold that thought. I will be back on you. Tabitha, let me start with you again. What is on your mind? Ajia would get back to you shortly.
Good morning to yourself and to all viewers across the length and breadth of Ghana. My thoughts this morning.
Unfortunately, I have to catch you there too. We'd have to go for a quick break, and then we're back so that I can take the thoughts of Tabitha and Hajia properly on what's on their mind this morning. We're back shortly.
Hey, bra, me say, care plus I'm a better sweet, and one I'm in for you so. And I'm Santi Mama will be any me fear. Me banaka care plus in here. Me san come how. The next time it's in a bra, me see me cheat some care plus me no. And I'm about to swear me sell it. You know the coffee. You should try coffee.
I care for you.
I don't friend him. Oh, I care plus.
Welcome back to GTV Breakfast. And now we're going to simmer it down into the conversations. You can join us with your thoughts on our WhatsApp number 0555561034. What's on your mind? Let us know. And if it's about the topics we're discussing expressly, let us know your opinions. Hajia Hamdatu, I was on you with what's on your mind this morning. So
yes,
please go ahead.
And how people are throwing garbage in the gutters in the streets when the water is running. I don't know why people are doing that. And then if you look at even the buildings, some of the buildings have been built on waterways. And I don't know where the authorities are. Buildings will come up, people will be occupying it before somebody will even come and start writing stop work. So I think we should be up and doing when it comes to enforcement of law, especially our bylaws when it comes to the assembly. As I was telling you, my daughter captured somebody putting rubbish into the gutters. So can you imagine? So now if it goes to hurt somebody, is it me or is it Tabitha, your name? Or Abigail? Or Gabby. You see, I think we should also try to be citizens. in such a way that we protect our own. We should try and make sure that these rains that have started. The other day, I was yesterday, like the day before yesterday, it rained heavily.
2
I was
days
home,
ago.
and I was just putting on the platform that if you are not outside already, stay in your house. And if you are outside, be far from trees and then billboards. Let me tell you, some of the billboards too are weak. So who are checking the weak trees and then the billboards?
That's true.
And then even some of the billboards, they block your vision. If you want to maybe make a
navigate a curve.
It is difficult. So I think that's what is on my mind. And then I'll add up to what Gabriela said about roads, because our road too is being constructed.
Okay.
And in fact, last Friday,
that's the
of Pokwase from
Amaseman
Ofanko.
stretch.
Wow. We thank God that the road is being constructed, but I think they should fasten their this thing, because I spent close to 2 hours from a place called Spot 10 to my house, which is not very far. So I think that is what is on my mind. And
okay. I know
the authorities to do their best and construct the road fast.
Okay.
In such a way that it will ease traffic, because the traffic from that place to Amasaman, wow, there are no
alternative routes as well.
routes. Even the alternative routes are bad, like the way Gabriela is. It's the same thing, Gabriela, in my area. So that's, yeah.
I've seen videos of some unscrupulous people also loosening some of the bolts and nuts on billboards.
They say that
and I don't know
there are murderers in this country.
How irresponsible
because
can
if a road, look at the Ofanko, our road, if you see the iron bars that are being, and then some can even go and then try to loosen. What do you want to do? Do you want to weaken the road that is going to be constructed, or what? I don't get it. I don't understand.
We should better our responsibility as citizens, just as we call for.
So as I'm sitting, maybe if I'm a security man, then I see somebody, they say shoot and kill. If you say shoot and kill, the human rights people will come and say, why? But meanwhile, what you are doing can kill thousands.
That's true.
What about that?
That's true. That's true. Tabitha, what's on your mind this morning?
Yeah, I think the first thing that popped up in my head when I woke up from bed was to be grateful. And I think gratitude sets the tone for a better day.
Okay.
And so I'm grateful for family, I'm grateful for friends, I'm grateful for life, and I'm grateful for the fact that today we are all up and we are strong. That's my thought.
Okay. Good to know. We hope it resonates with us this Friday morning. Now, let's get into the cracks of the matters that are topical. Godfred Dame has never coerced accused person in Hopeson case. Deputy Attorney General responds to the NDC. Let me just give a brief background. The Attorney General's office is denying allegations made by one of the accused persons in the trial of the minority leader, Dr. Kessel Hopeson. Now, according to the statement released yesterday, the office says the Attorney General Godfred Dame has not at any point required a third accused person, known as Richard Jakpa, to coerce him into contributing falsehoods to help jail the NDC MP. This comes after Richard Jakpa, the third accused in the ambulance purchase trial, claimed that the Attorney General had previously approached him to help build a case against minority leader and former Deputy Finance Minister Dr. Kessel Hopeson. The AG has on several occasions engaged me at odd hours to help him make a case against A1 and have evidence for that. If he pushes me, I will open the Pandora's box. I don't understand why the Attorney General will accuse me of defending A1, that's Hopeson, when I am here to defend myself, Mr. Jakpa said in court. And this has been one of the biggest stories this morning. Gabby, let me pick your thoughts on this. I saw Sami Jemifi addressing the media yesterday from court as well.
Well, from those who will not know, let me give you a little history about this case. Just a brief one.
All right.
So, government of Ghana, at the time, NDC administration, ordered for 200 ambulances from a businessman called Richard Jakpa. And 2015, 30 of these ambulances arrived in the country. Now, for these ambulances, usually when they are coming in, you get the shell of the vehicle, tires, everything. So it will look like a cargo van when it comes. And those ones are transported rural. It means it's not containerized. They are drawn off the deck of a ship. That's how they come to the port. And then the accessories of these ambulances come in containers. So the first 30 of these ambulances came in rural and accessories in containers. NDC left office, so we couldn't complete the arrangement for these ambulances for the Ghana Ambulance Service. And then the NPP took over. Now, these 30 are already paid for by the government of Ghana. The bill of lading has already been handed over to the Ministry of Health to clear.
Okay.
So when the new government took over, the businessman then had to relate to the Minister for Health, who at the time was Honorable Ajimamenu, about these ambulances and government clearing them because they were refusing to clear them from the port. So about clearing them. And at the time, government's argument was that they had made a promise to bring in ambulances for each of the constituencies. So our 200 ambulances will not suffice for what they wanted to provide for the constituencies, because like 270-something constituencies, and they want conformity. So they are not interested in these ambulances. But the fact of the matter is that this is something that government has paid for. And as the accessories sit in the port, it's attracting demurrage, and it's high cost for government. But there was a lot of back and forth between the businessman and government of Ghana. And then for government of Ghana to wipe their hands off the project, they then come with the arguments that they bought empty vans or cargo vans for ambulances. Even when this one district, one ambulances came in, they came in Mercedes-Benz shells, and the accessories were assembled here in Ghana for them. So this thing about they gave container-like vans and things, it's neither here nor there. That is how ambulances come in. Now, government then comes to this argument that this is how this thing came in. So it became a back and forth. They decided to go and park the ambulances at Burma Camp. I don't know if they are still there, but when you drive from, is it called Griffiths Road or something, to the Burma Camp bypass, the one that goes to Spintex, before you go down the curve, there's this, the Air Force has an aircraft that if you are new to the place, you might think that the aircraft is coming to take you off the road. Those vans were parked there. And I was very surprised government decided to go and park those ambulances there, because maybe government is not aware that prior to Japa becoming a businessman, he was a military man with 64. That was before he became a businessman. So I don't know why you decided to foolishly go and park ambulances in front of the military, despite that NDC went and bought crooked ambulances. Anyway, there was nothing wrong with those ambulances. So it was a purely political issue. NPP did not see the reason to take this issue to court till e-levy came up. And then they decided to package Hopeson because he opposed e-levy and Japa together. And this is where we are with this case. Frankly, as I said, this whole thing for me is just a purely political thing. Because at the end of the day, the ambulances were paid for, the ambulances were delivered. The bills of lading were with the Ministry of Health. The documents to the ambulances were with the Ministry of Health. They are not with the businessman. They are not with the NDC. They are not with Hopeson. It is with the Ministry of Health. It's with government. So today we've now come and they say that there's a conspiracy to defraud the state. The things are delivered. Now, fast forward. In the trial, the accused said, okay, fine. Instead of wasting everybody's time, if you think that you don't need these ambulances, fair enough. Let us take the ambulances back and let's refund the money. And let's be free of this issue. Government says no, we are going to continue with the trial. So yesterday, with the usual back and forth on this whole issue, yesterday, during cross-examination of Japa, I don't know what questions he was being asked, But somewhere along the line, he was the AG was trying to prove to him that he's defending Adorye.
Okay.
And his point was that why should I be defending Adorye when I'm here to defend my own self? And does he have a good case? He has a good case. Ambulance service needed ambulance at the time. And he was supplying ambulances to the ambulance service, paid for by government of Ghana.
Okay.
So somehow the surprise twist was when Japa lost to school and then started confessing that he's had meetings and conversations with the Attorney General, where the Attorney General has been trying to force him to what's the legal term? I don't like going to legal issues because I'm not very strong with the legal terms. He wanted him to now go against Adorye and give evidence that the whole thing was Adorye coerce him into taking a stand against Adorye. And Japa said he couldn't do that. See, he couldn't do that because you can't force somebody to go and falsely accuse somebody when the person has done no wrong. And both of them are here facing trial because you have to prove their innocence, because you are out there telling everybody that they have done so much wrong against government of Ghana and they've caused financial loss to the state. When the real fact of the matter is that you did not accept those ambulances because you said you have going to promise 275 ambulances and you want to make your businessmen rich. And for you, Japa is an NDC businessman. And if you took the ambulances from him, it meant that you are going to give NDC business. So you abrogate the contract. And then now we are here in court over the issue. So for me, it's one of those political things that we just waste everybody's time to try and put people into jail without really finding the real issues that have occurred for this thing to occur. And this whole thing about the Attorney General trying to get Japa to testify against Ato. The word on the street for the most half of this year, for those of us in the NDC, people with the NPP have already told us through the grapevine that the NPP's main aim to destabilize the NDC is to charge Adorye by every means, because he's our leader now. And so if they prove whatever way that he's guilty, then it means that they can now come and tell Ghanaians that
ahead of the elections,
that their majority leader is corrupted. But honestly, if you really know the history of these ambulances and whether they were delivered or not, they were delivered. The accessories are sitting at the port. The rest, I don't know what happened to the rest of the ambulances, but I do know for a fact, because this is an issue that I floated years ago when the test started, that those ambulances were here in this country and the accessories were here. So I don't know. Okay. For me, it's but the NDC is going to organize a press conference coming week to give the full details about this trial. So I will entreat all Ghanaians to listen to the true facts of the case and come to their own conclusions on what they really think about what is going on. I think that as much as I'm against corruption, and I'm against people who take government business and don't deliver on that business, I'm also against when people are falsely accused. I think that if there's evidence of wrongdoing, go after evidence of wrongdoing. But politics, as we have made it to be in this country, everything, they can just throw anything at you and then they set you up for trial.
I'll come back to you, Gabby, on governance of continuity. But Tabitha, a lot of what Gabby has said, is this founded on what the MPP are saying in the grapevine and, you know, character assassination of the minority leader, all of that?
Anyway, it's unfortunate that the NDC decided to act now. We have all been aware that this particular case has been started. I think they started the prosecution somewhere, last year. Where were they? Where were they when the prosecution started? Where were they when Adorye admitted to the crime? Where were they when he started making negotiations to pay? We heard that he said he would be paying the first 500,000 euros, or is it pounds? Then the rest of the 1.5 euros or pounds will be paid later. Is it 6 months? All these arrangements were made. Where were they? Where were they? Adorye decided to admit to his crime and was even bargaining to find his way out of the grips of the law. And today we are here. talking as though we are not aware of what happened last year, proceeding to what is now going to happen. Is it because now Ato will be going to jail? Where were they?
How do you know Ato will be going to jail?
Please don't interject.
They are not with the judiciary, so how do you know?
Please,
you see what I said about the grapevine?
I'll give you time to respond.
For starters, I don't know whether you've seen the pictures of the ambulances. You've seen them. The ambulances they claimed they procured for Ghana. Did you see them? Excuse me to say, they were nothing short of a matches box. I have seen those pictures. Compare such a vehicle to what we have currently, to what this particular government decided to gift, sorry, not to gift, but to give every constituency. A standard modern ambulance. One that will take care of people in case they are in emergency state. You understand? But what they gave us, as though they were, I don't know whether they were bullion vans, mini bullion vans, or whatsoever. I will prefer to call them matches boxes.
That's what stalled,
yes.
distribution of these ambulances.
So, yes. Why? Are you saying Ato doesn't know what an ambulance looks like? Why are we running this country as though we are running our own, what do you call it? I don't know how to even describe it. Ato will never go and buy such a vehicle as an ambulance for himself. I don't want to go digging all things that are unnecessary, because there are some situations that I can bring up. We are aware that some time ago, is it 2 or 3, so many years ago, I can't pinpoint the number of years back, there was a prominent man who died in Ghana, and some of the claims, in fact, this prominent man happened to be from the NDC, and one of the reasons was that they did not get an ambulance to send him to the health post, what do you call it, fast enough. So he died along the way, which is sad. I can tell you for a fact that ambulances has come to solve a lot of problems in Ghana. A lot of people have been saved due to this ambulance that this particular government have been able to procure. So you come today, and after we have been able to get evidence against you, and after Hopeson has started making negotiations to find himself out of the grips of the law, you are here pretending not to know that all these things transpired before his trial, before the prosecution, which is already pending, what do you call it, his conviction, and probably being sent to jail.
And it's in court.
Yes, we always cry that we want people to, we don't want corruption in Ghana. They should jail corrupt, politicians.
Right.
And today you are sitting here saying that Hopeson shouldn't be jailed or prosecuted. Are we serious?
Don't you think you're also being hasty? Because
no, we are not being hasty.
And
so why did he admit to the crime? Why did he admit to the crime? Why did he start making negotiations of paying 2 million?
At what point did he admit to the crime, however, if you can just refresh?
You are not aware of these things. I think you should know. You are in the media space. All these, no, I'm coming, please. All these letters have been published. They've been made public for everybody to see. His admission.
Well, my producers.
Fine. If only you wouldn't feel bad, I can go to a media house, a sister media house. If only you wouldn't be this thing.
No, we are all
because we should have.
You can.
Because we should have. The AG's office has made it possible for people to see all these documents. They are in the public space. Okay. I don't have to say anything that is not. Now, their main problem is that we are prosecuting one of their own, and the claim is that because they were talking about e-levy. What e-levy? E-levy was never a crime. Is it a crime? It wasn't a crime. Just fine. Maybe the time it was instituted or whatever could have been a reason, but that doesn't make it a crime. No government runs without taxes. Let's not deceive ourselves. You may come and cancel e-levy, but you institute a different kind of tax. Doesn't make any sense if you sit here and try to put dust in people's eyes as though we are just witch hunting without evidence. People were behind the scenes trying to solve the issue out of court, and today you are here saying they didn't do that. Please, maybe you need to go to the AG's their Facebook wall and go through all the letters that have been made public, and this issue of we are not interested in convicting, in solving the challenges of this country, but rather witch hunting is totally out of place. Nobody is interested in that. I always say the NDC as a political party is always full of propaganda. And if we are interested as a people to solving corruption, this is the step in the right direction. If one day, may the Lord perish that thought that you should ever come back to power, you shouldn't leave any politician you think is corrupt and you have evidence against the person. Don't do it. Prosecute the person.
Okay. On what you're saying, my producer just sent me the Hopeson on the ambulance issue. This report from the media that you're saying says that the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice disclosed that there was intense pressure from all manner of persons to discontinue the ambulance purchase trial involving the minority leader, Dr. Kesala Hopeson. Now, with Richard Jakpe's case, the third accused alleged in open court that the Attorney General, Godfrey Dame, approached him multiple times seeking his assistance to implicate Dr. Hopeson. Let me just skip to what the Attorney General says. He says in a statement that he said the third accused, rather in a series of letters, requested plea bargaining, which has not been accepted. It is rather the third accused who, by various letters dated 27th April 2023, 16th May 2023, and 30th May 2023, and 12th June 2023, proposed to the Republic through the Attorney General to engage in plea bargaining or plea negotiations. This plea bargaining proposal has to date not been accepted by the Attorney General, even though the law on plea bargaining passed by Parliament permits a prosecutor to negotiate with an accused person. After a plea proposal has been made, the Attorney General has not engaged the third accused to give false testimony in the matter. Is this what you're referring to?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead. And land. So it's the Attorney General. So it's not Atu who has, explicitly, said that he is guilty, as you are alleging to say. But land on the point you were making.
No,
so that
if they went back to trying to make negotiations, I hope you read it, and the negotiation, was it proposed by the AG or it was proposed by Hopeson?
Well, several letters came, and as the AG is saying,
but who
they didn't
proposed
conclude
for the arrangement of the payment? That is what we need to clarify. Because if you don't admit to a crime, why do you negotiate? That's the question. So I just want us to establish that fact. Who started the negotiation? Who wanted to make a pay bargaining? Who wanted to solve the issue without being prosecuted? Can we find that answer?
Well, it's a legal document from the AG saying that and so these proposals were made on various dates and from back in 2023, and it's not founded that you say that Ato said explicitly that he is guilty.
No, that is why I'm telling you that I have told you what Ato proposed. Until you are able to have something to prove me wrong, I think I still stand tall. And what is written here, I don't think the AG himself will just propose
These
that.
are several letters from several people, not Hopeson, I must just say.
I'm saying, who proposed the pay arrangement?
Let me reread the first paragraph to you so that we get a better understanding. Sure. The Office of the Attorney General and Minister for Justice disclosed that there has been intense pressure from all manner of persons to discontinue the ambulance purchase trial involving minority leader Dr. Kesala Hopeson. He did all manner of persons, not so the minority. Good. Yes.
You cannot specify. All manner of persons could be the minority that you are trying to exclude.
So you're just
the very people you are trying to exclude from this particular arrangement
so what's
are the same people who are interested. Because I don't think the NDC as a political party will be happy to hear that their own minority leader is being prosecuted. So who will be interested in his case and would like to solve it?
I'm with you. I don't think you'd be happy that, as Gabby was saying, you said they are not founded, the accusations or the background that she gave on this particular case.
So if you are saying, in the first place,
you're still trying to say
the matches boxes that they bought, are they fit to be called ambulances in the first place?
So the problem was with I did ask you in the beginning, was the problem with the standard type of ambulances? That's why they were not distributed to the constituencies. We keep talking about governance of continuity,
Yes, government of continuity. So if you come and do a bad deal for us, you need to account. I read somebody's Facebook post and I was like, wow, yes. That don't only pray for your leaders, but also hold them accountable.
Definitely.
So if they are holding him accountable, we the citizens should rally behind the government to hold people accountable. We shouldn't help.
I don't think anybody is disputing that. That's why the case is in court.
From what you read, they said that they were
All manner of
under,
persons,
under enormous
This
pressure.
happens with most cases, I would
That is
believe.
why I am now
just
advocating that when it is time for us to hold people accountable, we should let it happen.
Okay. You've made your points, Tabitha. Haja Hamdatu, this whole saga.
Haja, please make yours brief. I have a lot to say.
What's your take on it?
We'll bargain.
You
Gabby wants to share your time.
The last time she did that, I won't allow her. You see, the issue is that, let me start from where the gentleman is saying that he's being coerced by the Attorney General to maybe implicate the minority leader. In this case, I think he was also standing the trial, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it that there was some kind of negotiation to push him to be a state witness or prosecution witness or what?
Okay.
I think it's his words against the Attorney General. And I think he said he has proof.
Yes.
Until he's able to prove that, or some of us will just think that, as others are saying, it's political, maybe it's political.
Okay.
If not today, I didn't even know the man is a NDC businessman. That is why, because Gabi has alluded to the fact that the man is a NDC businessman. That is why he's being chased. But you see, talking about this ambulance issue, I would have preferred that, let's assume without admitting that there are matches box or maybe Kia trucks. The ambulances are already in Ghana. What can we do, number one, to improve that? And then maybe if Ghana was shortchanged, then we should work on that and see whether we're not giving value for money. In so doing, then we are saving the country. Now, the ambulances or the matches box came without all the necessary equipment in the ambulance. As Tabitha is saying, we've seen the one that was given by Hopeson to all the constituencies. We saw the internal this thing. But in this particular one, it's not like that. Since Gabi is also saying that those things that were supposed to make it fit for purpose were there, I was thinking I will look at that first and look at it in such a way that I said, this ambulance is supposed to cost us. How much will we charge in such a way that Ghanaians were charged? If we see that maybe they were shorting, then we work on that and maybe prosecute those who did that and get the balance. But now all these ambulances are there. They are getting rotten. Meanwhile, we've paid for them already. What are we going to do? I think going forward, anytime there are arrangements like this, we should look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the beneficiary. Who are the beneficiaries? Ghanaians. We should rather look at that and stop playing this NDC MPP politics that is taking us back. Because whatever it is, look, there were some Mahindras packed at the Ministry of Local Government. I don't know where they are now. And these ambulances. So what can we do? Because even the one constituency, one ambulance cannot take care of the whole constituency. These ambulances, we can put them in shape and then value it and see whether it was properly, maybe the acquisition was properly done. Then we move forward. But now, these ambulances are packed, they are getting rotten. Meanwhile, we are prosecuting people. That's how I see it. I think moving forward, or going forward, we should try and work, because governance is a process. It's not an event. Because if you're going to say, because CPP bought this thing, we are not going to continue affordable houses. You remember the one in Kumasi? They had to wait for an MPP government to come and finish. We have Soglome. And so I think we are wasting our resources, whereby people are suffering. All of us here sitting, CPP, MPP, NDC, and you, an independent person, are the taxpayers. It is our taxes that will be used to pay for all those things that were bought. Look at our budget. We don't have money, but still our hospitals need all these ambulances. So I think for me, let's assume that Ato Forcing or maybe the contractor didn't give us good, value for money. What are we going to use those items that were given to us? Can we re-equip them and put them in good use? Or we're going to leave them for 10, 20 years to rot. Meanwhile, we have already paid for it. We took a loan to pay for, and then we are paying the loan. That's how I see it. Because if we don't shift from maybe this person brought us, so we are not interested in. We might be going back in our health system. Let me tell you, CHIPS compounds are being built across the country. We have health pools and what have you, but they don't have ambulances. Look, the one District 1 ambulance is helpful, very, very helpful. But I think we need more to complement the one that has been given to all constituencies. So I will plead that fine, we are prosecuting the people, but we should also look at the flip side of the whole thing. What can we do? Maybe instead of 2 million, they charge us 4 million. Is it 4 million? If it's not 4 million, but 2 million, we should try and get that 2 million back and re-equip the ambulance rather than leaving them to weather and then.
Okay,
that's how.
Kindly. Point made. Gabby, a minute so that we move to Urban.
Don't worry, I'll put them in 6 points. Question number 1. Is Ato Forcing the Minister of Health?
No, he's not.
What was Ato Forcing?
It was the Deputy Finance Minister.
Is it the job of the Deputy Finance Minister to go around checking if ambulances, the shape of ambulances, or he's just the paying master? Question number 1. Number 2. Your so-called modern ambulances, that you refer to these ambulances as, what did she say, matchboxes? The reference of these ambulances as matchboxes is an indictment to the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Ambulance Service and the Public Procurement Authority. How dare you reference these credible institutions who put out standards for tender for people to supply, and then you come and say they are matchboxes? Your so-called modern ambulances could not save John Kuma when he was fighting for his life on the highway. Please,
No, please, don't.
When she was going on. Now, referencing, she said, no, please.
It's a sensitive thing, please.
Yes, so you don't reference people's credibility and say people who have sat down, written tender specifications that they went and told people to go and bring matchboxes to this country. Referencing the former chairman of the Central Regional MPs Caucus, former Deputy Finance Minister, former member of the Bank of Ghana, former member of Cocoa Board, as your current majority leader. You are a mere communicator. Your political acumen has not even reached the level that's not for you to reference Gabby. For you to reference Dr. Ato Forcing as Ato. Move on. He is not your Ato. You have to. He is not our
that's kind of
so if we communicate,
please let's keep it very.
Then we can respect us.
Please, do not tell me. I'm going to the next topic. But I have to move on.
But in my submission, you should have followed the logic of my argument. In my submission, I said, so how come you understood what I said about the ambulance? What I said about that? Look, Gabby, let's make your point. Look, in my submission, I attested to the fact that Japa told government that fine, if you no longer want to accept the ambulances, let us pay for them, and because we can go and sell it to private hospitals.
Okay.
So let us refund the money. In the article she made you read, it says that Japa has made inferences to the Attorney General requesting for a plea bargain. Why have they refused to even sit with Japa? Because there is an agenda at the end. The agenda is to target Ato. Ato is a paymaster. It could have been Setepe. It could have been Wanakote, but it just so happens that it was Ato Forcing who was the one who gave the approval. And Ato Forcing could not have given approval without Ministry of Health and the rest approving that this thing should go for payment. It is not something that he can single-handedly sit down and approve. Your target is Honorable Ato Forcing. That is the end game. That's the people of Ghana. And I'm sure the people of Ghana already know That this is exactly what it is. That you're game planning, and that's why you're trying to even demean the character of Honorable Ato Forson by referencing by mere Ato.
Thank you,
Madam. If you don't want to be addressed like that, give seniority respect.
So other big stories this morning.
Because I read somewhere that Atu took a unilateral decision without the knowledge of
Atu could not have taken a unilateral decision. When they went to court,
so let's move forward. And
no, you are putting
let's do mind our language.
And went to court to attest that he told Ato to approve it.
Tabitha, let's move on. Let's move on and talk about the Hopeson Adorye case and granting bail. Ladies, your microphones are off. Actually, ladies, your microphones are off. And well, the vociferous member of the movement will. Yes, I was just going to call for a break, but the vociferous member of the Movement for Change, Hopeson Adorye, who was arrested after admitting to detonating dynamite in the Volta region during the 2016 elections to favor the MPP, has been granted bail. Now, Mr. Adorye was granted bail on Thursday, May 23, by the Dansoman District Court, set at 20,000 Ghana cedis with two sureties, one of which must be justified. He was charged by the police for publication of false news. Now, a key member of the Movement for Change, Nano Hininto, gave the update to the media. According to him, Mr. Adorye has been taken to the Ministry's police station to complete the necessary procedures for his release from custody. And I quote, he says he was put before the Dansoman District Court Thursday morning and was charged with publication of false news. He has been granted bail and has been taken to the Ministry's police station with our lawyers to secure his release. Now, the other turn of events of this is that Adorye Asamoah, a former member of parliament for Adentan, who was parted ways with the MPP, just like Hopeson Adorye, and is now a member of the Movement for Change, claimed that the arrest is politically motivated. Following a visit by presidential aspirant and the leader of the movement, Alan Chairman, Mr. Asamoah is saying that the allegations against Hopeson Adorye are false and unjust. Hopeson Adorye is not about to run away from Ghana or his home because the police intend to charge him with the publication of false information. So to go to the extent of keeping him all day in the police station and bringing him over to the ministry to detain him, you point fingers backwards at you yourself that there is something political at play and it is not fair, is what Adorye Asamoah is saying about this case, intimating that this could be a witch hunting against Hopeson Adorye. Tabitha, I begin with you this time around. What's your take on this?
Thank you so much. You know, I'm disgusted by Gabriela's stance this morning. She thinks the right thing to do after I've been able to disclose the fact that his I don't know, you want me to call him the Excellency, or I don't know how she wants me to address their Ato. But one thing I know is that if I say Ato, I am not wrong. He's called Ato.
Okay. Tabitha,
he is called Ato.
Let's move on.
And so I'll continue to call him Ato. Another thing, crime has no expiry date. So you cannot determine as and when crime should be prosecuted or one should be taken to court. That one is not in your power.
Okay.
Another thing I have also realized is that, see, when we, and this goes to all communicators, when we decide to denigrate our own selves, then of course, party will also mistreat us. If you, as a regional communications officer, can say that a mere communicator, then it speaks so much about
Tabitha, you are still on this.
Yes, because you decided to let her have her way.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the Hopeson Adorye.
And you know, I always say that before one can disrespect another, the person is already a disrespectful person.
We are dealing
I don't
with
think I will ever go to any place to disrespect any human being. And so if I call him Ato and she has a problem with that, then that's not my problem.
It is,
you know, with the issue of Mr. Hopeson Adorye, I think it goes as the same thing. Crime has no expiry date. If you admit to detonating
dynamite.
Did he say dynamite?
Well, it said that he said firecrackers.
No. What is the first allegation against
dynamite?
And then the second one is firecrackers or whatever. If you said it, with your own mouth, and something of that sort really happened, then it means that you have already admitted to a crime. And crime has no expiry date, as I earlier on stated. And so, if you sit, that's why people need to be very careful with their utterances, because it goes far. You don't sit and then speak things that in future people will refer you to, and it will come back to bite you. And this is exactly what Adorye is facing right now. He said something, didn't know that one day it will come back to bite him, and today it is biting him. I can only say that if he is actually innocent of the crime that is leveled against him, he should come out with his evidence. And I don't think that people are out there witch hunting him. No. If you have any evidence to make yourself free of this particular crime that has been leveled against you, of course, the court is a reasonable court. The court will consider your evidence, and they will, at the end of the day, settle the issue amicably. And if you should be freed, you will be freed. And if you should be prosecuted, then you will be prosecuted. And so I think this serves as a caution to us, especially those of us who get the opportunity to sit and speak to people. We should know that people are listening. If you are going to talk, make sure you think about whatever you are coming to say on air. It's a precautionary measure to all people who are at large communicators. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Tabitha. Hajia?
Yes, I'm surprised people are saying it's political. The arrest of Hopeson Adorye is political. But was it not also being political when he sat on TV and radio to spew all those, excuse my language, garbage? Because if it's anything at all, if you are saying that you were in charge of dynamite or what have you in the voter region to scare people from voting, then which means you have committed a crime. So you need to face the law. If you are in a political party, and then maybe the political party has fired you, meanwhile you have benefited from that political party, some didn't even benefit, and you decide to go and sit on TV and radio and saying you do this, you do that, I think you are the first person to be arrested and even jail, because if really it happened in the voter region, you did it. Who authorized you to do it? Because even if somebody says go and kill and you don't want to kill, you won't do it, because even if you are authorized, you have to prove that maybe Gabi or Tabitha authorized Hajia to do this or that. So I think we shouldn't be using politics to be causing mayhem, spewing garbage on national television, and then we think that we can go scot-free. It was not even the politicians who were calling for the arrest of Adorye. The first one I heard was Peace FM, what's his name? Sefakan.
Yes.
And other people. You see, because it was a dangerous statement. Why are people behaving as if you are in opposition, you are in hell? You understand? Because you were in power. It's because maybe you they took you away from airports where you were getting your everything. Let me put it that way. So you are bitter in such a way that you don't even mind your language. You don't even mind the way you talk. You go out there and say, and then they have the right to arrest him and then prosecute him. I don't know whether there was some evidence of blasts during the election. If there were, then I think Hopeson Adorye has told the whole country that he was the one who did it. So if he is the one who did it, should we let him go free? That is recipe for disaster. Because if that is happening, or maybe if that has happened, we are in an election year. We are in an election year. Other people who are calling on their members to go and take machete and everything will be more empowered and encouraged to also do that. Is that what we want in this country? Is election just about who can kill or who can cause mayhem? If that is politics, then maybe I don't want to be part of it. Because politics, I have my view, you have my view, your view, and Gabi, you two have your view. All of us want to come to power because we want to better the life of our people in a way that we understand. In the way that we understand. As an Nkrumahist, I believe in social justice. I believe in self-reliance, and I believe in Pan-Africanism. So therefore, if anybody will sit on television and say certain things like that, and then we think it's political, if they arrest him, it's political. I didn't know that the IGP too is a politician, and so on, because they are supposed to keep the internal security of this country.
Yeah.
We want to be safe. I want my children to be safe when they go to vote in Dome-Kwabenya. I want to be safe when I go to vote in Kumbongo. I want my people to be safe in Bolgatanga, where I have my family house, to be safe when they are going to vote. So now, if you hear such a thing, and I have relations in both region, central region, I have them across, and then maybe they hear that somebody was able to go and do that, won't it scare people from even allowing their children to go and exercise their franchise?
Thank you, Haja.
You see, we have to stop this because of political expediency. We'll sit and talk anyhow. And then if they are called to book, people will be in their T-shirt and go and be demonstrating, free this, free this. People want to be heroes when they are not. People want to be heroes when they are not. We want peace in this country. At the end of the day, if it is MPP, if it is CPP, if it is NDC, PNC, who will win the election, fair enough. But people should not be creating tension in this country. People should stop creating tension, and that is exactly what Hopeson Adorye did. Why do you say you have gone here to do this? If we've condemned people who were calling on people to go and slaughter some tribes and what have you, I think we should condemn what this man. And when they said it, they were arrested. So what is different? What is wrong with Adorye being arrested? And people will say, we are going to have a press conference. We are going to press conference is a freedom of expression. You can have your press conference, but the good people of this country will not listen to anybody who will incite them. Hey, me, I've been telling people, especially my community, don't allow anybody to come and use you in an election year. And after that, they'll come and call you. Do you have first class? Do you have masters? Do you have this? But you are the people that they will use to go and cause mayhem. Let's stop it. Let's stop it at all. Because you see a bus at Airport Residential Jowolo, Abelenke, taking people to go and cause it. Apart from Azongo, Nima, Mamobi, and maybe Shukra and Bukum. Why? We should stop that. We should stop that. Even the people who were in the T-shirt yesterday and the aircon free, they don't even know what the man sat on TV and said.
And let me give an account of what he did say. Hopeson Adorye was picked up after what he said on Accra FM on May 10, when he confessed to being part of a plot that detonated the dynamites in the Volta region to scare voters in the stronghold of the NDC to favor the MPP. I quote, prior to the elections, we blasted dynamite in parts of the Volta region, and that scared a number of people. When I finished casting my ballot in Tema, I drove to the Volta region, and when I asked the number of people who had voted and the expected number of votes, it turned out people did not come out to vote.
Can you imagine? So you have deprived people from coming out to exercise their right to vote.
Okay.
So the Ghana police too have the right to arrest you, prosecute you, go and prove, tell us why you put that kind of fear in people. Because maybe those votes would have changed certain things in the community. You don't know.
Okay. Gabby, on this, the Hopeson Adorye issue, and
when you are at the airport chopping, who was there?
Submission on the Hopeson issue, let me make it very clear that we in the NDC respect seniority a lot, so we do not reference our seniors by their first names. Neither do we appreciate when people do not give them that respect. That when you get it from us. Now on Hopeson, in any case, if you have any advice from people who appear on platforms, you can take your own advice. Hopeson is Hopeson.
Okay.
Now Hopeson Adorye. Is Hopeson Adorye a parliamentarian? Is he a leader of minority in parliament? Is Hopeson Adorye
case? Yeah.
So Hopeson Adorye, that it's his case which it is witch hunting. The sad case of Hopeson is that this is a gentleman who dedicated himself to the NPP for many, many years. In fact, I've been in politics since the year 2000. And I know very well some of the things that Hopeson and his colleagues did for the NPP to take power. You see, the explosion that he made reference to, we heard that those explosions happened along the Volta-Togo border, because we have some Ghanaian citizens who live in Togo, and then they cross over to come and vote. So because of these explosions, they were afraid, and so they didn't come to vote. So it affected the NDC's vote records from the Volta region. Now, as I said, his case is a case where loyalty has been betrayed. The beneficiary of whatever Hopeson Adorye did was Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. That is what has given this lady the opportunity to represent the NPP on this platform this morning. What they have done to him, what they have done to him, is what every single NPP foot soldier should learn from. You remember when this whole issue about Sarah Bruni manifested in this country some years ago? There were even CCTV videos of Hopeson Adorye going to go to trip to go and seek out CCTV files about the whereabouts of Sarah Bruni. In fact, the lady did a live session and she even mentioned that Hopeson Adorye even attempted to assault her on the highway when she was with her partner, who is a woman. Don't say
Well, she's celebrating his arrest.
Let me give my submission. So this is a message. This is a lesson to all NPP loyalists who kill themselves for NPP. Today, you shed your blood for them. Tomorrow, this will do you like Hopeson. But I have to say this about the movement for change. I mean, they are really moving. Yesterday, when I saw them out in their numbers, I was like, oh, wow. They were so excited that they were trending all over. I heard they were on BBC yesterday. Amazing stuff. Thanks to NPP.
But you agree wrong is wrong. That's what Hopeson Adorye did.
But it affected our vote, so you don't expect the city and said it was a good thing. It affected our votes in the Volta region. But I'm pointing it out that the beneficiary of what he did is the person who is sitting and watching him go through all this. The one person who he was willing to lay his life for is the same person who is sitting and watching all this happen to him. It's a good lesson. When you say you want to be loyal to people, your loyalty should have
So they should be loyal, but they shouldn't be loyal doing wrong things.
Your loyalty should not
wrong things for leaders. Okay, Gabby, we're going to take messages now. You can join the conversation 055-556-1034. Send your WhatsApp messages to us. It's GTV Breakfast, brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water, and Jay standing by to bring us your opinions on the matters that have been discussed this morning. Jay Gabra, over to you.
Thank you so much, Motiti. So these are your messages. The first one from Diana here says, the woman in the pink dress is giving good analysis and taking us back. She also says, with Hopeson Adorye, let the law investigate those who asked him to do that, take politics out. Alaji Dauda says, listening to the 3 political party reps on the show, I am now convinced we will now have more Ghanaian women members of parliament in the 2024 elections because the 3 women on your show have detailed information and knowledge of politics of each political parties they represent on the show. Thanks for the knowledge sharing of their political parties. This is from Alaji Dauda. Thank you so much for that. Kadu Bwai is sending us a voice note. Thank you so much. You are blessed. I don't know how.
He wants to just say it.
Yes. Thank you for your. Good morning to you all in the studio. Hopeson Adorye, hypocrisy will kill him. He should think about himself and his family. And this is coming from Issa. And then Jay, I almost thought I'd sent a message to the. Okay, so he's also saying it's about time GTV provides independent candidates the opportunity to participate in this type of political advertising. Perhaps you can bring independents who are only as panelists after every 3 weeks. This is coming from.
You know, we actually do that.
Yeah.
Yes, we blend. Okay.
Okay, Stephen has deleted this message. This is from Muni Muntari. Okay, we have to move on from there.
Really?
Okay, so. This one is also from Angel saying, Hopeson Adorye mentioned some names and I'm pleading to the Ghana police to also arrest those names mentioned and continue with their investigations. This is Ernest Apale. Kwame David says, Madam Host, can you tell the lady to stop? Okay, let's go to Nanaya. Good morning. Hadja has given us a brilliant submission to stay away from trouble. Okay, and now you're taking Hadja's advice. Okay, Toby Ghana is holding a cleanup exercise. Okay, no, that is okay. Okay, Toby Ghana telling us tomorrow is International Plastic Free Day. Join us to clean the Osu Kajano beach from 8 a.m. So all the things happening this morning for Toby Ghana, we are going to the beach tomorrow. Wow. Okay, this one then. Okay, so good morning. I really like the fair lady on how she tackles issues. I don't know. Okay, I don't know who that person is, but they sent us a message. Thank you for your message. We move on to Kojo Flames. Okay, he says good morning, and that's it from him.
Okay.
And then, okay.
Last one from you, Jay.
Okay.
The fact.
Osankide is saying that the fact of the matter is Hopeson caused financial loss to the state and must be punished for his actions. They can say what they want, by the end of the case, Hopeson will be in jail. This is...
Well, okay, Jay.
Okay. Please give people their due. You see Mr. Hopeson, but I find it difficult to say, okay, that is Swali.
Thank you.
The messages are hot.
Hot, yeah.
They are your views,
please,
and yes, I'm not able to read most of them on air. So,
keep them temperate. Thank you so much, Jay, for those messages, and thank you for sharing your thoughts. I have to move.
Okay. For social media here, there are these boys. There's a volunteer group. I think they are called the
Bus Stop Boys.
Yes. They are doing an awesome job. You guys have to project them more. I saw them 2 days ago cleaning Accra Mall. And I was very impressed.
We had them in the studio some time back, and we interviewed them. Yes, we featured them.
I was really impressed.
Yeah, doing very well.
The weeks before, they were at the Pokwasi interchange, or the Achimota Mile 7 interchange. They cleared all the sand.
The gutters that you
what the assemblies are refusing to do. These boys are able to organize people.
I'm sure the assemblies should give them
their flowers.
Okay.
They've earned the respect.
Definitely, Gabby. Thank you. Thank you, Jay. So the Liberians have been 750 of them, which makes up the first batch of refugees, have departed Gomwa-Bodubran camp for home. The first batch have departed for their home country from the central region. The refugees were transported in 20 buses, accompanied by cargo vehicles carrying their personal belongings, and are part of the group whose structures were recently demolished by traditional rulers at Gomwa-Bodubran. The group forms part of a total of 4,300 Liberian refugees scheduled to return home between May and June this year. The repatriation is part of the Liberia Refugee Repatriation Resettlement Commission's plans to bring their citizens back from their camp. And the Bodubran camp, established by the UN High Commission for Refugees in 1990, housed more than 12,000 Liberian refugees who fled their country during the First Liberian Civil War. That's 1989 to 1996. Ladies, let's touch on these briefly. I know that Rwanda is also marking the genocide against the Tutsis, as the refugees are also being repatriated back to Liberia. Gabby, let me start with you.
Well, let me state for a fact, the intro, that you mentioned when you were reading out that recently there was a demolition exercise by the traditional authorities. It wasn't to eject them.
Okay.
You see that the Gomwa-Bodubram area is a developing area, and you realize that there's a whole market sprawling across both sides of the road that was causing traffic on the main highway. So they've decided to construct a more modern market in there so that they can move the traders away, especially now that the road is also under construction, move them to a better location. So the demolition exercise was to make way for a new market for the Gomwa-Bodubram, Gomwa East people. We've housed them for 30 years now. For many of them, they don't even know what Liberia looks like. I saw the videos when they were going, I think it was these videos, when they were going, to be very honest, even for me, it was a bit emotional, just watching the indigenes of Gomwa wave goodbye to some of them. Many of them are going to start life afresh, but it's good to be back home to exactly where it is you belong. I mean, I think that it is sad when people reference themselves as refugees through no fault of theirs. And I think that is a good lesson for all of us, even as a country, that at no point should we bring ourselves to the point where we'll have to reference ourselves in somebody else's country as refugees. Because no matter where you go, home will always be home. That is where your spirit and your soul will find comfort and meaning, no matter how bad things are. So I wish them the very best in their new journey back home. And now that Liberia is safe, they went to elections some few months ago. They had a smooth transition. They have a new president, and I'm very sure that they have good plans for all of them to rebuild their country. So they should go and support to rebuild their country.
Definitely.
And, so that we can also go and visit them in future.
In future, because they've built ties here, and as
but they always welcome back
to Ghana. Tabitha, how do you see this, rolling out? I'm concerned about them finding their feet back home after 30 years going back to their home country.
I think home will always be home. There's no place like home, and so they going home is the right thing, because the spirit and the land and the soil, they connect. When they are really one, they get connected. When you watch the black folks that are abroad, those slaves that were taken abroad, you realize that each time they come back home, you see them crying and reconnecting, because they feel this is my home. I was deprived of the opportunity of being with my own people. And right now that there is no war, I think they will find their feet when they get home. Home is home. Home will always support you. And I want to believe that international bodies have stepped in to help support those countries that went through the genocide to stand on their feet. So they'll find a way. They'll find a way. That's one thing about life. One of the things about life that is very certain and sure is change. And our ability to adapt to changes is evident. If you look at us, for instance, our black skin is because of the sun rays that is very high here. So we are able to stay here comfortably. The whites will come here and probably get skin cancer.
Sunburns.
So without their, what they call the sunscreen and stuff, you realize that they will start burning. Like they will burn. And so home, as I said earlier, is always home. And I want to entreat all Ghanaians, well-meaning Ghanaians, of course, that as we are going into the elections, we should use them as an example to model ourselves and to position ourselves in such a way that we do not cause any mayhem. And so you have issues of what Hopeson Adorye did, which we already had a bite on. Of course, we all condemned it, though some people thought that he was being hunted, which is unfortunate. We live in a peaceful country. Let's maintain the peace so that we don't have to have part of our families torn away from us. So I wish them all the best as they go to their homes, and I pray that all the support that they need, they are being given.
Right. Thank you. Tabitha. Hajia.
Yeah,
you have the final word on that.
I remember when I was teaching in Busy Bees Montessori, some of the kids were brought to our school in Laboni that time. Miss Susanna Begashi, wherever you are, I salute you. And she took these children free of charge for them to attend school in Laboni. So you can imagine, 1991. So after so many years, those children, some of them are going back to their country. But some of them did not lose touch with their family back home when the dust settled. So I'm not sure they will find themselves as strangers, and most of them, by all means, will find themselves like that. But as Gabi and Tabitha said, definitely there must be some good arrangement for them to be able, because you can see the excitement. They were waving and happy to go home. You see, home is home, no matter the situation. So that's why I always tell people that let's preserve the peace that we are enjoying in this country, because this country is peaceful. We are always ready to take in people. But how sure are we that when we go to the other side, we will receive the way we give them the hospitality here? So I think the Liberians, they are going home. We wish them well, and then we'll hope and pray that they will be able to settle in their country. My dear, living away from your own country is difficult. If you have sisters and brothers who have left this country so many years ago, when they come back, they can't fit in. Some of them cannot fit in. So it is good to be keeping in touch with your where you come from, let alone people who were displaced because of war. Now, even the buses arrive, it will be like maybe tourists, so people will start coming out from their homes in Liberia. Who are these? Who are these? Some of them too who have families there will be received. Maybe there will be some settlement there. My dear, as Sabita said, when you go to the Osu Castle, not the Osu, Elmina, a lady came from US and I took her. She's taller than Gabi and fatter than Gabi. She just laid on the ground and was crying. Whom am I to lift her from the ground? She was saying, leave me to cry, leave me to cry. Because they could feel the connection, especially the door of no return, that place. That's where when you even smell some blood. So Liberians, we wish them well. We just pray and hope that the new president will create opportunities for them to be able to settle properly, because by all means they'll be missing so many things that they were doing in Bujumbura. But I'm happy that the construction that was taking place that displaced some of them, but not that they were forcefully evicted from there, because I know Ghanaians, we know how to treat people when they are on our land. Definitely. So we wish them well. Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to say a very good morning to Dr. Srebo of Kolibu Cardio Center. He's watching us this morning.
He always watches us. Good morning, Doc. Thank you, Haja, for that. And thank you, Gabi, for those insights on the, why they evicted them and the building of that market. I do wish that we could have tackled this issue on obstetric fistula. Haja, you coming from the north, and Gabi, you as well, because I know that there are lots of fistula victims in the central region. And as I said, as a fistula ambassador, with the child marriage, bad road network, the chip compounds, and not even knowing that the condition is something that can be corrected through surgery, but hopefully we'll get more time, because we have to.
Yesterday I watched it when I think the first lady was it was a very good intervention
about
and then I think her office are sponsoring about 20 people.
Yes,
but I think other organizations too should look at that, not just sponsoring beauty contests and what.
That's true.
They can,
because the intervene cost is expensive. That is $400 to $500. Okay, we have to wrap up. My director will kill me, but thank you so much, ladies, for gracing our show this morning again and putting proper perspective the headlines we've had for today. Gabriela Tete, Central Regional Communications Officer and member, National Communications Team, NDC, and Tabitha Ayila, member, National Communications Team, MPP. Thank you for coming on the show, Tabitha. Hopefully you have you more often. Hajia Hamdatu is a former acting chairperson, CPP. I am multi-decider Sadek. And remember the Togbe Ghana cleanup exercise at Kajano. Tomorrow is plastic pollution-free day, so do endeavor to join. We'll also be joining a live coverage. Put it in the bin, don't litter. A live coverage of the press briefing of the economy by the Minister of Finance today at the Ministry of Finance conference room, and when the feed is ready during the course of the show, we'll bring that to you. I am multi-decider Sadek. The small GTV breakfast, don't go anywhere.